Hello and welcome to another update video about Solana. Yeah, Solana as well here, still a little bit indecisive. Yesterday it created a new low, came all the way down to 93 US dollars. I gave you here that previous or that important support range yesterday. That was a range here where we had a volume profile on the chart. We can just add the VPVR again. I think here, yeah, you go. There you go, and you can see here that is exactly where it also found support, actually a little bit higher where that bar started already, but you can see how relevant that support range was, and yeah, it was pretty much reached, and that is where we expected support. It bounced off that, moved up quite strongly, so it actually came down to, as I said, just $93, and has now formed a potentially bullish reversal pattern. You can call that a bullish hammer potentially, yeah, where you have a long wick to the downside and that very short candle body here after making a new low, which doesn't mean we now go to new all-time highs, but it means we could expect, in line with what I now expect for other cryptos as well, after that local low was reached yesterday by Bitcoin, and I made you aware before we started the increase again that we now can expect a retracement to the upside. That is also what can happen here for Solana now, of course. Solana is back above the 61.8% Fibonacci level. Yeah, here this is the top of that green range is the 61.8% Fib level, and therefore a very, very relevant Fibonacci retracement level. And that needs to be broken. And ideally you want to close a daily candle below it to really confirm a move down, and ideally see the retest as well. Now we have closed below it, but we haven't seen that retest. As you can see, we came down all the way, but the retest didn't work out. If I go to the 4-hour chart, you can see that, which we actually moved above the level again. But and I think we mentioned that in a previous video as well, that it could at any point happen that we move down, come up again and retest that previous support as resistance. And also this is how it's looking like at the moment. We came all the way up to $102, have retested it. And that is now where we need to see the price is still in this indecisive mode, where, yeah, after a drop, which confirms, in my opinion, that we're actually on our way down, despite that bullish hammer, because that would be a short-term signal anyway only, but that after that move down here, we are going to continue the downtrend, yeah, because we are now on the way up. We're going to get close to exhaustion again. So let's take a look at the 1-hour chart. You can see that here, the RSI is close to being overbought. It's only the 1-hour chart, but we're getting close to exhaustion here at some point, and we are still here below two important levels. So the 61.8% Fibonacci level is that green line here, and then we've got this ascending trend line of this ascending broadening wedge, which in the end worked out bearish, as they normally do, or more often than not they do. And we have obviously dropped out of it and now retesting that from below. And as long as we are sort of between these lines, you can't really talk about a clear direction. We would need to look at those key levels and when they are broken, because at the moment, the market is just moving sideways pretty much here right at this moment at $100 or just above $100. So personally, I would wait until we break here above the $111 level. So we need to break above the previous swing high to end the downtrend. You want then a higher low as well. But until that takes place, I would be very patient and wait. Yeah, we already have important levels here around $105, $106. But then the next resistance is around the corner with 111. And the very, very structurally very important level for the chart continues to be that $122 level. We're quite far away from that. We can increase to it and go up to it at any point again, but it is a very important level. Expect some resistance there, and that will only be possible as soon as we move above 111 US dollars. As I said, primarily despite short-term upside potential, which I personally see because of the expectation for Bitcoin, despite that, I would still expect further downside because the price came down so impulsively. Yeah, yes, it found support here, but that was broken now 2 or 3 times, even made a lower low. Came down to the swing to that support box here as expected. And yeah, in my opinion, what we're doing here is just a correction again in a downtrend, and very clear message here. As I've said it over the last few days and weeks, I do expect still much lower prices for all altcoins, including Bitcoin, because Bitcoin hasn't completed its correction yet. However, a short-term upside potential is part of the game. That is part of how waves move. And therefore, I made you aware that also for Bitcoin, we can now, in that wave 2 in which we are, go a little bit higher, and that would have an impact on Solana as well. But for Solana, with that potentially possible breakout that we had on the chart here, I remember I showed you a potential breakout pattern here where we had a wave 1, 2, 3. This would have to be the wave 4, and then the next wave would be the wave 5. It is just extremely unlikely because the wave 4 came down too much, and at the latest it should have turned around here at $100. No, it did come down all the way to $92. Actually came into the price range of that wave 1 here at $95, and that sort of didn't really invalidate it necessarily, because you can have overlaps, but it just makes it much less likely. And you can see exactly here where it went into this ascending broadening wedge. It should have turned around and should have moved to the upside. Now it missed that the same way that many other altcoins missed it as well. And therefore, therefore my view is that yes, of course, moves to new all-time highs from here, technically possible, but I would only give it a 15%, maybe 20% possibility. That is pretty much what I expect for Bitcoin as well. Is it possible for Bitcoin to move to new all-time highs? Yes, as I said before, but I would only give it a 15% probability. So we need to understand that everything is always possible in financial markets. Therefore, it is so important to get regular updates or to watch the market regularly. But at the moment, I just can't see it. Of course, as always, when things change in the chart, I make you aware. Maybe let's take a final look here on the daily. How is the MACD looking? How's the momentum looking? The momentum is currently increasing, which means the negative momentum is decreasing. We don't have a clear signal that this is going to turn around yet, but if we are moving a little bit higher, we might get that daily bullish crossover on the MACD. Last few times that happened, we made some nice peaks, nothing major, but we moved up, as I said, down here actually from $75 that was all the way to 145. So that is, don't suggest necessarily that we are going to move that high, but we have a bullish crossover coming potentially here. The RSI, however, as long as it's still below 50, I don't see that happen, but when we get the breakout above 50, we could see a more significant increase. Now, we're not there yet, but as you know, I'll keep you updated. So hopefully you liked the update about Solana. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then check out the channel membership. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.